Melanie, and welcome back to Living Luxuriously for Less, where we celebrate, decorate, and enjoy everyday life for less. So, as you can tell by today's video, we are going to talk about something that we all love here, and that is backdrops. So, I thought it was important for me, to kind of cover this subject individually as we talk about how to buy and source your inventory for event planning. And so I wanted to kind of give you guys your own little video just about backdrops today. So I hope you guys are as excited about this as I am. So without any further ado, let's hop right in. So for those who are just beginning in event planning, and thank God that you didn't start years and years and years ago, back when I did, we didn't have the pipe and drape or the fancy stands for backdrop. I actually started out using 2 poster boards and a piece of fabric to do my backdrops back in the day. But luckily you don't have to do that anymore. And if you do or you would like to, I still have that video and you guys can check it out. But if you're just starting out, I would probably recommend you investing in a minimum of the photography stands. Now, these are not good for like everyday use or every event use. If you're doing something like maybe around your house or you're just getting started out and you want something nice, then I would definitely use the photography tripod stands. They're about $30. You can find them on Amazon. I would recommend the heavy duty ones because when you start putting like heavier fabric on it, they'll start to droop in the middle. But if you get the heavy duty ones, they are good for a lot of reasons. Now, I still have them in my inventory, and the reason is because, there are some times where I have to do things on the go, and I don't have the space to transport as much as I would like to. So those stands really come in handy because a lot of times they pack into a little small duffel bag, and you can throw it in the back of your trunk of your car or SUV without any problem. So they are really good to always have. Even though I have a full backdrop pipe and drape system, this is something that I still use like on the regular, especially if I'm filming at home or doing something on the inside. Now, I do not recommend these for outdoor use at all. You guys know my story about that. So I don't recommend them for outdoor use, but definitely something you can use, on the inside or for small setups or small budget type events like small birthday parties, small graduation party, and you're going to do like a lightweight backdrop on it. These are great for that. And if you get the heavy duty ones that are like $100, you can use regular, weighted fabric on it without having to worry about it droop in the middle, and it's going to last you a lot longer. So that is my recommendation for those who are starting out. And if you just don't have it at all, of course, go back to my first video. You can use 2 styrofoam boards from the Dollar Tree, a piece of fabric, or some type of wrapping paper, and create a very creative and unique backdrop using that. So don't feel like, you have to have like a whole bunch of money to get started and to get started using backdrops. Next, once you have started using the tripods and you want to move on to something different, then I highly recommend getting a pipe and drape system. Now, I have an Amazon store that links everything that I feel like you guys need in that pipe and drape system. Be sure to check it out. I do have a tutorial on how you use all the different parts and pieces, so I won't go into like great detail about that, but getting that pipe and drape system will definitely start setting you up to doing, larger scale events. The main thing I want you guys to realize here is that even with this particular system, outdoor events are still tricky. You're probably still going to need some type of weight or a sandbag or brick to hold it up because, the weather can be very unpredictable and blow it away. Ask me how I know. All right. So, the next one that I would recommend after the pipe and drape system, you want to start investing in your backdrop draping. And when I first started out, I wanted to get draping that was very easy, almost like putting a curtain up in your home. And so I found this draping on eFavor Mart. You want to make sure that your draping is fire retardant. And so you want to make sure that when you're purchasing it, that, be very cognizant of that, because when you're adding lights and things like that to draping or using candles, you know, things can catch on fire. And so you want to make sure that you're not just going and picking up any type of fabric and adding it to your draping, because you can be putting yourself and your business at a risk by not using the proper type of fabric. So you can, I use this first draping. You guys have seen me use it time and time again from eFavor Mart, and I love the fact that it had the bling on the front and it was sheer under the back. I also added fairy lights underneath it, and it has carried me a very long way. It is a time saver because, you know, I can just throw it on and keep it moving and still have that beautiful effect in the room. And you know, you can hang like a crown from it, or a name or something like that you can hang from it, and it will look absolutely magnificent. I have it in the silver. I think I have 4 of them, as a matter of fact. I have them in silver. They also come in gold, so be sure to check those out. But again, you want to make sure that your fabric is fire retardant, because in the case or the event of a fire, I have proof right here of a fire that I was burned in. No, it's this one right here where I was burned. I don't know if you guys can see it that well, the burn marks, but that particular fire was in front, on some fabric, and it could have gotten really bad at a venue. So make sure that you keep that in mind when you're buying drapes and things like that for your backdrop. Another thing you want to keep in mind when you're buying drapes is the length of your backdrop. You want something that is definitely adjustable. You know, for me, I like for it to go from at least to adjust down to 6 feet, because if I'm putting it in my car or my SUV, I want to make sure it fits. You want to make sure that you invest in those poles and things that are adjustable, so you can store it easily and transport it easily. That is the name of the game. So just pay very close attention to that as well. But again, I will link a lot of this down below for you guys if you are interested in it, and also any resources from past videos and things like that I have done. So another thing, once you get past the draping and the fabric and you want to take it to the next level, because this is what I really think is going to be big in event planning, especially in this year. A lot of built backdrops with wood or grass backdrops and flower wall backdrops, those things are really huge, and people are just doing simple draping around the room. And so I like those, because with the new ones that I am going to use, and I'm going to be unboxing and putting some together for you guys, but with these, all you have to do is roll them up. You don't have to snap them together. You don't have to do any of that. You can just roll them up and go, and then you can store them easily, saran wrap them around like you're rolling up carpet, and put them in a box or something like that. And when it's time for your next event, you could just pull it out and go. And it's very easy to set up. It's a time saver. So that's one of the things you want to keep in mind when you're setting up your events. Draping and setting up backdrops can take at least, it depends on if you're doing one drape in the back or the entire room. But it can take, 2 hours to 6 or 8 hours, depending on how much draping you're actually doing. So you want to keep those things in mind. And keep your mind open to other, ways that you can create backdrops. You could use, like I said, greenery walls. You could use flower walls. You can use, a lot of people are building, I think they're called Chiara backdrop boards, and I'm going to be sharing that with you guys really soon, where it's different odd shapes. They're just so super cute, but I'm loving those in backdrops. So keep your mind open. They're using now the sequin wall backdrops. I mean, there are so many different kinds of backdrops now that you can incorporate into your event. So don't feel like you have to pay a lot of money to take backdrop draping classes, because a lot of that, as I said before, it's not as prevalent as it was a few years ago. So you may just want to just invest your time in doing a simple backdrop, making sure it's full. You want to make sure you get enough, panels for the amount of space you're trying to cover. Make sure the backdrops are full and connected. And then in that center portion, doing something very extravagant. in that area that will set your business or your theme or your design apart from the rest. So you'll see a lot of that from me in this upcoming year as we're starting to move into different things. So that is kind of my just very general high level tips on backdrops. If you guys have any other questions, let me know down in the comments below. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. As I said before, Luxe Academy is going to be in full swing starting in July. So we have 2 classes planned for July, 1 for September, and 1 for November. So we are planning for 4 Luxe Academies this year. So I will be taking limited students because I want everybody to be safe. So you guys stay tuned for that information. Make sure you're on my mailing list so you don't miss out. Also, I did a video on the other day about how to consult with your client. So, you know, definitely go check that video out because you want to make sure you, even if you're just doing something as simple as centerpieces or backdrops, you want to make sure you're gathering all the information that you need to gather from your client and from that venue so that you're making the most of your time together. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching as always. And until next time, it's Melanie with Living Luxuriously for Less. Cheers!